So, have you ever watched a movie and thought, hey, that product placement right there, that's a bit much, that's a bit in your face, isn't it? Well, you haven't seen anything until you have seen the remake of Power Rangers. So, Power Rangers is a movie that came out today that is a reboot of the original Power Rangers franchise that started in the 90s, which was American TV mixed with Japanese fighting, which I thought was so cool as a kid, and I just watch it now and it's like it's cheesy and terrible and all that sort of stuff. But it has nostalgia, and this movie is the follow-on from that. Now, obviously, they want to go in the dark and gritty route that they go with a lot of these superhero movies nowadays. And from the trailer, I got a bit of a Fantastic Four vibe. Don't worry, it is a hell of a lot better than Fantastic Four. So we follow these 5 teenagers who all meet by chance and end up picking up these magical disc things. They're not really magical, they're just discs that have like different colours on, so it like gives them their ranger powers, and they end up getting this power and accidentally stumbling upon this secret hideout base, the Power Rangers base, where Zordon, played by Bryan Cranston, who does a good job by the way, is there, and they meet Alpha 5, who is a little robot dude, and it's just like a really basic plot from there. You've got Rita Repulsa, who is the villain, and she wants to, you know, gather all this gold, and I won't tell you exactly what happens with that, but you can probably guess. And then she's trying to take over the world, and these Power Rangers have to stop her. It's what we've seen in every superhero movie ever. But the thing is it enjoyable? Does it work? And does it do justice to the already pretty bad Power Rangers franchise that we've had before it? It's enjoyable enough. Now, what I got from Power Rangers was a lot of cheesy dialogue, a lot of cheesy action, but also quite a bit of heart. I liked all these characters. They all quite, get on well with each other, and you really feel them as a team after you get to know them. I mean, a couple of them, like the Yellow Ranger and the Black Ranger, they sort of felt a bit like they had to be there to make up the team. The only ones that are really developed are the Pink, Blue, and Red Rangers. But they all do a fine job, and they're all pretty good in their own roles. But Bryan Cranston steals the show as Zordon like I thought he would. I love the guy as an actor, and he does really well in this film. You sort of get to see him in physical form too, which is kind of cool. But for the most part, just as this moving head, seeing Bryan Cranston's face and his voice, it's just really cool. It's great to see. So I thought he did a really good job. But I was surprised because I thought all of the actors in this movie would do my head in, because they're like newcomers, and it's like they've never done a big movie like this before. You've got RJ Clare, I think his name is, who was in Meet Earl and the Dying Girl, and he's my favourite character in this film as the Blue Ranger. So you've had the stuff come out about him being autistic and the Yellow Ranger being gay, and they don't really like throw it in your face. Like it was similar to like what they did with Beauty and the Beast, where they just had it there and it was there for you to know it was there, but it wasn't like too in your face. And I think they both did really good jobs, and I think everyone just did great in their respective roles, so I appreciated that. And the action itself, while pretty cheesy, the start of it is really cool. Like, for the whole movie, you're sort of setting up the friendship of these characters and just them as, real people. And they don't really put on the suits until the very last scene. I mean, you get to see glimpses of them. You get to see things happen and the morphing and everything, but they don't properly morph into the suits until the very last act of the film. The very last act started off really, really cool. I really liked it because as soon as they put the suits on and they got into their Zords and they were going out of the base, and it was like they were playing the original Power Rangers theme. They only played it very briefly, but I was like, yeah, this is making me nostalgic. This is making me happy. I had a huge smile on my face for that whole scene, and that was really great. But some of it, just feels really cheesy, and that's my problem with Rita Repulsa. Elizabeth Banks just... I'm not going to say she was phoning it in the whole time, but my God, she was so cheesy, and I didn't like her in this movie. She just did my absolute nuts in. Alpha 5 was annoying, but my God, Bill Hader was way less annoying than Elizabeth Banks in this thing. She just... every time she was on screen, I was cringing. And the subplot in this movie involving Krispy Kreme, my God, you haven't seen product placement yet. Seriously, after watching this movie, me and my friends, we actually went to buy a Krispy Kreme. Because of this movie, it was like, I'm actually quite fancy a Krispy Kreme now because I've seen this thing. And it was like, my God, a lot of the movie revolves around the Krispy Kreme chain, and they name bomb it so many times, and every time they mentioned the word Krispy Kreme, I was like, oh God. I mean, it's not a huge fault on the movie's part. They probably got a lot of money out of that, but it was so in your face. But yeah, what I really did like about this movie was just the interaction of the whole team. They just really come together well, and you really sort of appreciate how well they bounce off of each other. You know, the Red Ranger and the Blue Ranger. I don't actually know their proper names, but you know, they just all do so good, and they all feel like they're friends when you're watching it. I mean, obviously they weren't friends to start off with this movie. They all become friends throughout the duration of the movie, but it feels like a really natural thing, and it feels like they really grew on set with each other as well in real life. So I feel like these people really could be friends for real. And I really appreciated that. I thought that was good. I mean, everyone in the movie does their best, apart from Elizabeth Banks. I mean, it's not a great movie. It's not even really a good movie, but it was a damn entertaining movie. Even if most of it was a commercial for Krispy Kreme, it was a movie that I really enjoyed, and I do recommend if you want to have a good laugh at some cheesy action. And it does have some quite funny jokes as well. I mean, they had that joke in the trailer where he's like, Zach, I think his name was, the Black Ranger, he's like, I'm black, and you've got the Blue Ranger, and he's like, no you're not, and it's stuff like that that's quite funny when they bounce off each other with it. But there are some jokes that really don't work as well. But yeah, overall, yes, I did have a fun time watching Power Rangers. I love seeing the Zords. I mean, Goldar was, like, it's not a spoiler, he's in all the trailers, but Goldar was actually the equivalent of Doomsday and Batman v Superman. So that basically makes Rita Repulsa Lex Luthor, and she was about as annoying as him. But it just felt like he didn't have to be there. He was there to unite the team, and he was just a big CGI blob mess. So that part of the movie didn't really work as well. I mean, the last act was cool up until a certain point, and then you'll start to think, my god, this is getting more cheesier by the minute. But overall, yeah, this movie's pretty enjoyable. And I didn't hate it, and I expected to, so there's that. So have you seen Power Rangers yet? If you have, let me know what you thought. If you haven't, are you going to see it? Are you looking forward to it? Don't worry, it won't tarnish your childhood memories of the Power Rangers. It just might make you cringe a little. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. In fact, I'll be back tomorrow with another video because I saw another movie today. So look out for that, and I'll see you guys soon.